Before the video gets started, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and send your true Halloween scary stories to my email. My email is always in the info box below. I want to make at least a 1 hour long true horrifying Halloween video this year. Without any further ado, this story is part 5 of the Drug Addict series that I've been featuring on the channel for the past month or so. I hope you guys enjoy it. Remember, viewer discretion is strongly advised. I was 12 when I had my first bottle of beer. My parents had given it to me because I wanted one at a party. They wanted to desensitize me from alcohol. I didn't get drunk, but I thought I was king shit and decided to tell every kid I knew that I drank beer with my parents. No one took it serious, mostly because I don't think anyone cared. The next party I would have another beer, and when I turned 15, my dad gave me my first strong drink, whiskey. Oh, how I adored whiskey. The taste, the texture, and more importantly, the burn. One night when I was 17, I crashed my dad's car in a snowstorm. He told me the way you deal with crazy nights with a warm shot of whiskey to calm the nerves, and that's how you get to sleep. I took a shot, then another, then another. I couldn't get to sleep. Outside, the snow fell onto the road, but everything seemed fuzzy. I made my way upstairs and felt so hot and yet still shaken up by the wreck. I opened my windows and collapsed in bed, only to wake up with a splitting headache and wanting to throw up everywhere. I ran downstairs, but all I could throw up was a bit of bile, which stung the back of my mouth. I couldn't breathe. I kept heaving and heaving. My dad busted in and yelled at me, telling me I shouldn't have drank so much. Reality set in how I crashed his car, and now he was pissed. We got into a shouting match, and I ended up leaving, telling him it was all his fault for letting me drink whiskey. I had a few friends that sympathized with me, and I went to stay over at one of their houses for the weekend. There I went to the bottle since their parents were gone, and we both drank ourselves into oblivion. That night my dad called my friends looking for me. He wanted me to come home until I answered the phone. I remember the call went something like this, but who knows, I was drunk. Hello? Jerry, it's Dad, listen. I'm sorry about this morning. I was just annoyed by your attitude. You can't use alcohol as a crutch. I don't want you to become an alcoholic. Well, listen, Dad, I don't care about your fucking... Wait, I remember how wasted I was, and I couldn't quite remember what he said before. Jerry, are you drunk? No way. Buzzed, not drunk at all. My slurred vision gave me away. Fuck. I heard him say under his breath, you know what? Don't come home. I don't need drunks in my house. Asshole. I screamed into the phone and threw it down, breaking it. What the fuck, Jerry? My friend yelled at me. I didn't give a damn. After that day, I decided I didn't want to go home. My father wasn't perfect, but he meant well. I'm sorry that I never listened to him, and if I could go back to that night and talk to him on the phone and ask him to please come pick me up, I would. I was a scared 16-year-old boy who didn't know what it was a good idea and what wasn't. Instead, I spent the next 6 years in an alcohol-induced coma. I got my money from borrowing off my mom. She didn't have the heart to tell my dad what was going on. She just kept giving me money and begging me to use it for good. Every time I'd lie to her and tell her I was going to find a job. I spent those 6 years bouncing from friend to friend, but by the end, they were all sick and tired of my shit. And the truth was, by the end, they were all grown up and ready to live out their real lives. At the age of 22, I was homeless and begging off the streets. That's when the worst thing happened. My dad saw me. It was raining dark and lightning was flashing against his face. I was drunk as usual and kept a knife in my back pocket in case I got into an altercation with another guy. I had a long brown beard. My dad always wore a nice suit, dressed well and looking tidy. He parked his car on the side of the road and got out pointing his finger at me and yelled, Jerry, come home. Make things right. Stop drinking. As he got closer, I looked into his eyes and yelled, this is your fault. I'm a drunk because of you. My words were slurred, but I had to yell over the pouring rain. Thunder crashed in the background as my father's hand fell. I stole money from Mom because of you. This is all your fault. I realized at that moment that I was pissed off at my father I was drinking all because I wanted to get back at him for doing this to me. It was too late though. When he realized Mom had pulled the wool over his eyes and was feeding my addiction, rage came over his face and fear came into mine. He ran up to me and grabbed me by the neck. "You're no son of mine. I don't know who you are, but you are not my son." I couldn't breathe. My hand reached into my back pocket, and I truly thought he would kill me. He let go, but it was too late. As he turned his back in a drunken rage, I ran to him with my knife and stabbed him 10 times in the back. As he fell to the ground, gasping for air, my heart sank. Blood began to wash down the street, and I saw the wiper blades on his car, tossing the water down the street. Lighting up the scene and prompt thunder crashed. I was terrified and I had no one to go to and nowhere to run. My father was coughing up blood now. I'm sure in total shock of what I had just done. He had no idea how to handle or process death. I'm sure he felt that I was the greatest failure he ever faced. My father was not a bad father. He made mistakes like every parent does, but I'm sure he never expected me to kill him. And he had never expected one drink, one night to spin me out of control. He wanted me home. He wanted me to be a good man. But now as I stared at his body, now gasping for air, finally take his last breath, only to fall lifeless in the street, I realized that my life was over, and I ran as fast as I could. A week later, they finally found me. A witness had heard the yelling and had told the police I was always on that corner begging. When the judge heard the story, saw me in tears, now sobered up, he said something I didn't expect. "Mr. Jerry, I'm sorry this happened to you. Looks to me like under intoxication, you did something incredibly stupid. Now you feel horrible about it, but I don't represent God. And I'm not in the business of forgiving your transgressions and giving mercy. I speak for Lady Justice and the people of New York. For that reason, although I feel sorry for you, I'm sentencing you to 25 years in prison. I'll be 50 before I get out, and I know I won't go back to alcohol because I'm seeking help and have been for a while in my AA meetings. I will never get over that night. Sometimes I have dreams about it and I try to stop myself, but I always end up killing my father. I was never an angry child, just had a lot of pride. Now it's all gone. I don't think alcohol is bad, but if you aren't careful, you can spin down a path. Be careful to understand why you were drinking. Because it's not for the right reasons, you could find yourself right next to me. I never got a DUI. I never got assault charges. But one night I got angry and drunk, and that landed me here. They say there's no cure for me either. They say I will always be sick and want alcohol. I'm honestly not sure how to live like that. How do you live knowing the thing that made you kill your own father will always haunt you? I'm scared to leave prison. All I can say is I hope my mother still loves me, because she hasn't visited me in jail, and I've been here for 5 years now. She won't answer my calls. I have no friends except the ones inside these walls. I'm not sure when I get out I will even have a life. Honestly, I wish I was dead. Thanks for listening, guys. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, share here, there, and everywhere, subscribe to the Sinful Society, and remember to email your Halloween stories to my email. Thanks for all the love and supportive comments, guys. You guys are the main reason why this channel is really starting to grow and take off. I can't wait to see what lies ahead in the new year. I can't wait to see where our channel can go. I know it's an endless possibility, guys. Stay sinful.